exactly.
Sorry about that.
Call to order the November 8th Pendleton Board of Stormwater Management meeting. I'll do a roll call starting my left.
Zach Berline.
Kyle Eichhorn. All right, we have a quorum. Jerry is absent. I'll entertain a motion to approve the previous minutes. They're on the drive and on the screen.
Motion to approve previous minutes.
All right, with a motion, I'll second that. All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed. Motion passes. Looks like no old business. On to new business, MS4 permit audit. Sure.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll just cut to the chase. August the 15th of this year, we are pleased to say that we passed our audit. This was the general permit that was established in December of 2021. It was original Rule 5 that was required for by IDEM and come down from the Clean Water Act there in 1987 update. And with that, we are required to go through every 2 years and stormwater audit, and then every year we have a good housekeeping audit. So this year we passed both of those. We've got sufficient in every category. We had a couple of minor things that we needed to kind of follow up on. I have been representing the planning department within their stormwater management, and then we also have Jim Cook here, and he is our stormwater coordinator and MS4 coordinator. So we've been working together really hard here in the last year and a half to be compliant with our general permit and all those regulations that we have. So that includes documentation, record keeping. We have work tasks that we have to do. We have a compliance schedule that got a copy there showing, you know, how we've stayed up with that. And we've got a few other things to shake out here in 2024 through 2026. But we are in a good position. We met with Stacy Goodwin in August, and she also took a look at our facilities. We just had a few things that we had to tidy up and report back to her. Those included, we have our salt barn. We had to create a little barrier there for our salt. We also had the exposed transformer casings that needed to be removed, either placed in storage or to get rid of those. And then we also had a couple of wall signage that we had to do for our drainage within our facility. So those have all been taken care of, and very happy to report that we passed and are in good standing. So, do you have any questions or anything on that part?
So there's nothing outstanding at this time.
So the other things, we do have a few things as far as some ordinance updates, and that's what we're going to talk about next.
Okay.
And that deadline is June of 2024, but we'd like to see if we can be ahead of the game and see if we can get that passed and recommended to town council.
Thank you. On to new item B, MS4 stormwater ordinance.
We've got Brady Dreyer here. He is a representative of Commonwealth. We work very closely with Brady just to kind of give a little bit of update. So from all the regulation and the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System that came through EPA, there is a couple permits that have been created by IDEM. Those permits are regarding stormwater and also construction permits that anyone who's constructing construction up to 1 acre or more has to be compliant. They have to file these permits with IDEM and they have to stay compliant with those. And so we also, as a municipality, we have to also assure that they stay in compliance with those regulations. So in order to do so, we have one ordinance, stormwater management ordinance that is comprehensive, that will pull all those provisions of those two permits all together as one. And that will help assure that whether it's a subdivision or whether it's a silo construction project like Dollar Tree, we've got Woofie's here, it'll help notify them of what our expectations are and to make sure that they remain compliant with those standards. So the ordinance that we have that we'd like to propose to you, and Brady can be here to answer any technical questions. The ordinance is the majority of the regulatory authority and general requirements. of the stormwater management. And then the standards is a companion document that will be approved along with this ordinance, which is the means and methods of achieving those regulatory requirements in our ordinance. We feel confident in this plan. This is a statewide supported, accepted document. Majority of that was created by Purdue University, the local technical assistance program, and it has been tailored for the town of Pendleton. And that should preserve our public health, safety, welfare for the conservation of national resources and to keep us in compliance with state and federal guidelines. First, in this here, this is the technical standards manual, but if the other with the ordinance there, basically the gist of that is it identifies the stormwater areas and activities that require regulation. If you want to scroll on up here, it includes prohibited discharges and connections, stormwater quality management terms, control of construction sites, whether construction and post-construction, permit requirements and procedures, and compliance and enforcement efforts there. This needs to be, in order to be compliant, like you said, Mr. Berline, in order to be compliant with our general permit, we need to have this approved and adopted by June of 2024. We as a board can give a favorable, unfavorable. It's not required, but as courtesy, we would like to present these documents to you for your review and blessings. If you feel that you are comfortable in giving that recommendation this evening, we are ready to present this to town council tomorrow evening for their first read. And if they so choose as a body to suspend the rules for a second read, this can be approved as early as tomorrow evening. So that being said, we've got the technical standards as well, and we can kind of go over that, you know, kind of how those, you know, those means and measures are.
And then Denise covered really everything general. I'm in Brady Dryer with Commonwealth. I don't know if you guys got one of these, but basically this is a memo that's kind of the Reader's Digest version of some of the changes. And even kind of, I think what we felt to be some of the more important changes are highlighted. But as Denise said, the format we used is through that Purdue Local Technical Assistance Program. You've got a lot of, you know, MS4s throughout the state. I would expect most of those, just like Pendleton, to adopt that very similar standard. Thing about that is that makes it easier for, you know, your developers to kind of know what they're walking into. And we didn't really have any recommendations or reasons to really change some of the technical merits there. One of the things too that I'll mention, just kind of a little history. If you look back, if you look at the first page of this document, the second header there, we've got a few older ordinances that we reference. So that kind of gives the board an idea of, you know, what we're superseding. So the first couple ordinances would have been the 1999 and 2006, just from a historical standpoint. That was when the town was designated as an MS4 municipal separate storm sewer community, and you have to abide by these regulations. And then in 2021, we got an audit by IDEM for the construction measures, which required some changes then. If I was in your shoes, I would be asking, well, why didn't you just do a full update then? Well, the fact of the matter is these permits like the MS4 general permit and the construction general permit that Denise mentioned, those weren't final at the time. So with that, we didn't know exactly what we would be looking at. And then some of this guidance document that we're using has evolved afterwards. So it's the reason for the update.
So I just kind of glanced through here. So the new ordinance, if your project is less than 5 acres, you don't have to do a split plan. Is that right? But if you're, that's what it's saying on under section 4.
I think, isn't that reference to the previous ordinance, if I remember correctly?
Brady, do you have any more copies?
I do.
Because
I have plenty. Hang on, sorry.
Sorry.
Where are we at, Kyle?
Section 4A, it's like page 4, top, it says. Oh wait, maybe it's saying the town's existing ordinance
I think that's what it was.
states
Kyle.
that it's 5, because I would think it would be 1 acre or more, because that triggers the.
Yeah.
Permit.
Yeah. And I think that had to do with like the larger developments, is what that 5 acres is referencing.
And then as far as the technical standards manual, you know, it's a customization of kind of the LTAP.
Exactly. It's similar to Kyle, you probably remember how it used to be done with the state drainage manual. Yeah, Christopher Burke was involved in it. It's the same kind of criteria that we're using here. Sure. A little bit of a standardization.
I didn't read cover to cover, but I did see in there the floodplain mitigation is 1-to-1. Is that sufficient, you think? It's all over the board. I just don't, I mean, the only thing that stood out to me right away, but. I guess it's- So what's the process if we want to amend this manual? Is that a town board action?
Yeah, the town council can, well, you could amend it right now.
Well, I'm just
You
saying,
can
like, in the
suggest it.
future, if we decide something in here isn't working.
Same process as this.
Okay.
And there's probably gonna be some of that.
Oh, yeah. But they have.
So right now we have a 1999 drainage ordinance, basically. Is what we're.
Well,
I know there's
Yeah,
been, there's something in 06.
Our standards, yes.
Yeah,
Right.
standards, yeah. And so we'll go, it looks like we'll go to a 0.1.3 CFS based on the disturbed area, which seems pretty standard.
if it is.
Once it is approved, it will be reformatted to the town brand. But right now, it's just in plain text.
And it'll be on the approved
And it'll be on
documents.
approved
Yeah,
documents, that is
okay.
correct, yes.
Oh, do you have any questions about it? Long time coming, it'd be good for moving forward, so. I guess that concludes the presentation, and if there's no further discussion, nobody online or in the audience wants to talk.
And part of this too will require them to turn over their as
Okay.
that would be great to have, to be able to keep our mapping up to date.
For storm and water.
Yes. Well, this will be for storm.
Okay.
This is just-
Something else too, like your BMPs for your stormwater. Basically, those on the manuals are required as part of the submittal. So that when, you know, the project's done, it goes to the HOA, it's something that they're gonna have, now will have. to make sure.
So like,
Common sense.
so like in a new subdivision, they put in like a mechanical unit. That's the HOA's responsibility to keep that cleaned out.
Right.
Okay.
And it gives the town an opportunity to remind them of that, sort of by exchanging that.
I guess if there's no other comments, I'll entertain a motion. Let's see. Or do I just entertain a motion to for a favorable, unfavorable, or neutral recommendation? Yes. So, one of those three options.
Motion for favorable.
All right, there's been a motion for a favorable recommendation. I'll second the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We're good. Any other business? No. All right, meeting adjourned.
Hey, Zach, thanks for the effort. Absolutely. Sorry I was late. I mean, oh, wait.
your kids thanks for you.
Something like seven.
No, I don't think it's just,
Man.
yeah, we haven't switched it back. So you can
The mic
sign
drop.
that.
That, then this
one.
Carl,
is
you
this
can
kitty
sign this
cat.
here, then if you can, oh,
Here,
there
this
we go.
is- What do I need to do? Just sign here?